Eden Bidani. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Billy. How are you doing? I'm great to speak with you today.
Amazing. Eden, you know who you are, but just for the listeners out here, you're the head of copy at the Cape Agency, and I am so lucky to have been working with you on a number of clients over the years, and we're going to banter away about what makes ads convert, or converting ads, converting copy, and all of that jazz. Are you ready to get going?
Absolutely.
Amazing. So you've worked with us on a number of clients, and you know the drill with us. Whether we're just auditing an account or we're starting to work with a client, 9 times out of 10, they're saying to us, our ads aren't working. They're not converting. We're not getting any demo requests. And often that's actually why they're changing agency. That's why they started to work with us. And then we'll take a look at, their ads, their landing pages, their content. And we're like, no wonder you ain't converting because, well, the ads are just generic. 2 guys promoting what they're talking about on a webinar or another great practices ebook or another event that nobody really cares about. Their landing page, again, nothing inspiring. You go to their website, nothing inspiring. And then they wonder why their ads aren't converting. And it's like, duh, what's going on? I mean, what are you seeing with regards to the ads that aren't converting?
Yeah, absolutely. It's because they all look the same as what any other competitor puts out there. They're all the same kind of stock or a stock image, and even if it's not stock image, okay, so it's a generative AI image, it's very clearly or obviously a generative AI image. There's such a huge disconnect, I think, from what we're trying to get across in the ads versus what people actually want to know or what they're feeling or what's going on in their day. Didn't even register. Yep. Like we're so used to skipping over ads anyway in all our feeds. What's the likelihood that someone is actually going to stop and read it? It's very, 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 very small.
Exactly. And I think that also another issue that we have is that the ad is just one touch point of a campaign. And companies like to measure first click, last click. But what about what your website looks like? What about what your landing page looks like? What about having the content that you're also creating in multiple formats? Because, who reads blogs nowadays? It's the videos, it's the webinars, it's the white papers, it's the podcasts, it's the combination. Founders and CEOs who are hiding behind their brands are actually doing a huge injustice to their brand. I'm not going to talk now about founder-led marketing. Mm-hmm. It's not the topic of our conversation, but everything will contribute to people clicking on that ad that you say is not working. Which brings me to the question that we all want to know. How do we turn these things around? Where do you start in actually creating a campaign, multi-channel, multi-asset, multi-facet campaign that is actually going to convert? What is it that you do? It's not magic, okay? But what is it that you do on your end to actually turn this thing around?
Absolutely. I'm going to say the obvious one, and it's obvious because everyone knows they should be doing it, but still people don't do it. And that's just to talk to your customers. It's literally just to talk to
What if you haven't got any customers? What if you haven't actually got any customers yet? We're working with a lot of startups as well. They haven't got customers yet. Who are they going to talk to?
Find out. Well, if you can't talk to them, in the second place is to be a fly on the wall and where they hang out, where your potential customers hang out. Go to Reddit, go to GitHub forums, go to Discord, Discord communities, find a Slack group that is for industry experts, infiltrate your way in. Don't say anything, don't post anything, just listen and observe. It's so underestimated. It is so wildly underestimated. But there's a huge difference between the companies that take the time to do that versus the ones that don't. Even without talking to customers, there's so much that you can learn about them just by observing what they do, how they behave, how they act, what's the questions they're asking, what type of language they use when they're talking between themselves.
Yes.
That's where you find those rich insights. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly where you find those rich insights, those key points that they wouldn't tell you necessarily even in a customer interview. And the other thing is, I think a lot of people are afraid of customer interviews because they say, there's nervousness about interviewing customers. Fine. Nervousness we can deal with at another time. I'm not talking about that, but they treat customer interviews like an NPS or satisfaction interview. Are you happy with our product? Do you like it? And because you have an existing relationship with that customer, they're not going to be that open to you to tell you what they really think. So, but it's just a matter of, it's not asking them those kinds of questions. It's asking them open-ended questions. Tell me, how did you find out about us? What was that like? What was you going through? What was happening in the business, or what was happening in your role at your company at the time when you came across us? Yep. Ask them questions about them, not about your product. Ask questions about them, and they will gladly open up to you because everyone likes talking about themselves, don't they? But they will open up to you about that wider context because that's what we're trying to fit our product into. For us as marketers, our product is everything. It's the 100% of our day. That's what we live, we live it, we breathe it, we sleep. We sleep it, we dream about it at night, all of that. But for our customers, it's 1%, maybe, if that, of everything that they're doing throughout their day, unless they're feeling a pain or the problem, which amplifies what it's feeling at the moment. But
exactly. And also walking them through, like, what are they doing right now without your product? It's like an understanding that, oh my God, they've got a 10-step process for something that my product can basically do for them in 2. And that's sort of like a huge aha moment that could easily sort of like also become an ad, right?
Absolutely. So, but it's that understanding of what was going on in their world. Everyone can come and say, we have an all-in-one. It's so easy, does what you need to do in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But people aren't going to believe that, because their current reality, exactly like you said, is that they're taking 10 steps and it takes them 3 hours every single day to do this one task that they need to. But if you start from their reality and say, okay, right now you're doing this, you're spending 3 hours and taking 10 steps to do this one task. What if you could do that in 5 minutes? And suddenly it's not about you selling them an ad. You're showing them that there is a better or a different way to do things, that it's tied to your product is fantastic, but you're addressing their current reality, which is what so much of this marketing often leaves out of the picture. It's just that focus on education. We did a white paper. We've been mentioned by Forrester, Gartner.
Another trick, it's not really a trick, but it's taken from the B2C world, but easily copied across to the B2B world, is the seasonality of a campaign. So we recognize that a campaign is not just going to go live for 2-3 months and then to like go off into death, or if it does, it means that we've been unsuccessful, because if it's going well, we'll be carrying it on, right? But evolutions of campaigns don't need to be difficult. So if you're coming up for Christmas, if you're coming up for Easter, if you're coming up to the school break, you can literally bring in the next element of it or the next cycle of it by making it seasonal. We worked with a number of clients, and with one client specifically, it was quite a generic product, and competition was tough, right? We were battling it out head to head with competition all year long. And then we just said, okay, let's create a Christmas campaign, obviously involving Santa and gifts and funny elves and stuff like that. And just that in itself was just something that suddenly we just shot above the competitors who were staying with their more mundane. And we just managed to break away. And it wasn't difficult. It was just thinking about, okay, what else can we do to make ourselves, different?
But that also comes back, though, to reflecting the customer's reality. So they're experiencing these holidays. They've got these emotions, feelings, things that's going on. They've got stuff running in the back of their mind, like the Christmas example. Like they're thinking of going shopping. They need to do this. They need to do that. And so they see another ad like it. They go, oh, okay, yay. They see what's going on. And it makes them feel that affinity.
Yep.
It's like the same for ads run during the school break. It's like a kid, any reference to camp or kids, or kids driving you crazy or things like that. Customers feel seen.
Need to buy so
and
much
it's no
when you're going back to school.
Exactly. And it's no longer just about your product, then it's about your prospects and what's happening in their lives. And that's what so much of B2B marketing then fails to get across. It's not about your product. Your product is great, but your product is a means to an end for your prospects. It's not the end in itself.
I agree, totally. So Eden, I'm seeing text on a green background for Grammarly ad here. What is it that makes this ad, in your opinion, sort of like a good one?
Because it's talking about a real experience that customers have that does not involve the product. Again, it's reflecting the reality of our customers and our prospects' world. For example, you thought your email was fine.
And our email is fine. Why aren't we getting any replies to our email? Surely Shakespeare himself couldn't have done it better.
Exactly. You thought your email was fine. You think your sales rep's emails are fine. You think your email is fine. Why is no one replying to your email? I would have loved to see even a continuation. Grammarly has great brand equity, so they can jump in immediately with Grammarly underneath. But you thought your email was fine. And then in brackets, like someone's whispering, but why aren't you getting any replies? And I think it would make it even stronger, potentially. And then just back it up with the body copy. Grammarly's AI gets your words just right, so that you do get more replies to your emails.
Exactly.
And I think that would
there is immediate
incredible. Brand
recognition, of course, the color and the G. That anybody who's using Grammarly annoys the out of you when that G just appears everywhere. But there's strong brand recognition as well. So I immediately know that it's Grammarly, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And what about the second one?
From Proposify. This one, I thought this one was really, really well done. And there's, the meme of someone holding up a sign that says your proposal has the wrong prospect name. If you work in marketing, it's probably happened at least once.
Oh, yes, it's so painful.
Their
first name. Their first name, or dear John, when my name is Jane.
Yep, or the wrong company name at some point in there. It doesn't matter where it appears, even in the proposal. It's just it's happening. It happens.
Happens all the time.
Exactly. But I love the combination, because what they've done here is they've really understood. They also understand how ads really work. how people view ads. And so it's interesting because people know you're stopped by the creative, but then you don't go up and you don't come across an ad, you read the body copy and then look at the creative and then read the headline down the bottom. You stop because of creative, you look at the headline down the top, then you go up and read the body copy, and then you look at the ad and the creative and headline again, and then maybe you decide to click. So we rarely think that people don't read ads the way that often people write them, but what they've done is they've taken that approach. It follows a really logical sequence. So for example, you're looking at the creative, your proposal has the wrong prospect name, ad headline is stop losing big deals because of small errors, connected immediately to the creative. And even somewhat, and then you go up to the top, did you duplicate an old proposal? How embarrassing. Proposify helps prevent that from being an issue. Fantastic. Like, it's a really logical flow of sequence, and all the different elements, the creative, the headline, and the body copy all connect to each other. Now, some people might think, well, it feels a little bit repetitive. You're saying the same, you're sharing a similar message in the creative, in the headline, and in the body copy, and that's kind of the point. You have a little tiny window of opportunity to get across to your prospect. Do you want to nail one key message home, or do you want to try and tell them everything it is about your product? You're not going to be able to tell them everything that is about their product and have it all stick in that tiny window of opportunity. It's even better to have make sure those different elements, the creative, the headline, and the body copy, all align with each other. It comes across as a lot more powerful.
I need to find the name of the person who I was following on LinkedIn, who's also works a lot on copy, and his theory, and I was trying to prove him wrong, but I couldn't really. It was, you either have a strong image with minimal copy, or you have amazing, outstanding copy with low-key image. You cannot have both. And I was really trying very hard to think of the last time that I saw both, and I was like, I will prove him wrong. So far I haven't. But it was really interesting. It really got me thinking about the ads that really resonate and what it is that makes them resonate.
Exactly. And again, they've said so much in this ad, but they've also said so little. This is not a long copy ad, but because they've carried that message through and the different elements align with each other in the way that someone's actually going to read the ad, it comes across as 10 times more powerful. Like, I like this one personally even better than the Grammarly ad, because I think it's even stronger.
Yep. No,
personally.
I agree. Yeah. We've been talking for several minutes now, and I'm quite impressed that we have gotten so far without speaking about, drumroll, AI. With AI, we are all brilliant ad copywriters, are we not?
Yes and no. That's the best way to put it.
Go on, give it to us. Give it to us, Ed, and we need to hear this. And don't speak from a copywriter who is afraid for her living, because that's not going to happen.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, actually. It's just emphasize the need, why people still need copywriters, because if you don't know how to write, you have no way. If you don't know how to write ads well yourself, you don't have anything to judge the output against. So what it gives you, you're going to take it at face value and you're going to copy and paste it straight away. So on the one hand, you don't really know, you struggle to evaluate whether it's good or not. And you're also not your target audience, so you can't evaluate it on their behalf, what the AI is giving you. It could be factually correct. It could be best practices correct, but that does not mean that it's going to actually magically work for your audience either. So even if you struggle to write a copy well, you need to at least have an understanding of what the principles are, and you need to have a really good understanding of your audience, because then you'll know if this is actually going to resonate or not with them. At the same time, like I said, everyone's using the same tool. Everyone's using usually ChatGPT or Claude or one of the other similar tools that are out. Everyone's using the similar prompts because everyone's posting about them on LinkedIn. Everyone's using the same prompts and the same tools, and they're going to getting more of the same result. It's just you swap the product name or you swap the target audience name, and it's all the same formula. It's all the same things again. It's all the same things that we've already heard and seen a million times before. And this is what we're also seeing with the ad creative in the first place. Like you said, just swap the colors and the logo, and people would have no idea. You could be any company that's out there promising digital transformation.
Having said that, I think that I agree with you that, so like for the ideation and for the being able to come up with a narrative that's going to make you stand out and is going to hit home with your target audience, you can't do that with AI, or not right now. You need the experienced, marketer or copy expert to help you with that. But what we do work with AI for is for variations. Okay, so you've got 3 or 4 directions that you want to test out, and you want to make it 20 directions that you want to test.
But it's not even that. It's because as well, these tools still hallucinate. Don't take it at face value. Like, look at it as, okay, this is something to explore, validate it, fact check it. It's very, very tricky, and you don't know if it's what it's giving you is what it gave someone else from your direct competitor months ago. You put the same ad up. Whoops! Turns out your competitor's running almost the exact same ad. Potential lawsuit there if someone didn't follow through on their research correctly. So it could be so many different things happening at the same time. Absolutely. I also use AI to help create multiple variations. I use it to help me get unstuck. when you're stuck and you don't know where to begin, you feed it your ideas. They give me something, even if it's terrible.
Eden, so my key takeaways for anybody who's looking to make killer ads is don't treat them as killer ads, treat them as killer campaigns, all inclusive. But the two elements that you can't escape or that you should be incorporating into your process is one, voice of the customer. And if you haven't got any customers yet, then you sort of like eavesdrop at the water cooler, which is all of these, so like the Reddits, the Substacks, the Slack channels, social media, other social media, conferences, etc. And two, it's the, even if you think you have no competitors, look at your ecosystem and look at what their marketing and what their campaigns look like. And if you look or sound the same, you know that you're in for trouble. And just because something's working for them does not mean that you should be copying it. On the contrary, it means that you need to be doing something very, very different.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Eden, thank you so much. You're a delight to speak with, and I'm glad we finally got to banter.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really looking forward to this. Thank you so much for having me today, Billy.
Thank you. Thanks, Eden.
Bye-bye.